So build a statue and oh, build it high for the world to see.
He's a veteran reggae singer blazing a trail not only in Jamaica but internationally. Richie Stephens is on the Trailblazers. It's a pleasure to have you on the Trailblazers. Obviously, we know of you, but I was most impressed walking into your studio, seeing some of your accomplishments on display.
Well, I've been in the game for a while, so I do some things.
Or you have done many things, man. So tell me about your early beginnings, even before going into the music industry. How about your earlier years, how you started?
Well, I always tell people I started in my community, and I can't leave out that because that's the genesis of where it's coming from. A little community, Hudson Street community, popularly known as Russia in Westmoreland. And that's where I started my musical journey, by being the community entertainer who sing in and around the community, and my little bridging them and family, of course, used to cheer me on and give me some level of confidence. But it wasn't until I started singing outside of my community to strangers who never know me and still give me that kind of applause, I realized that, hey, there's something there, and this is what I want to do. So I've been doing music from them years. When I was about 11, 12, growing up, then my first professional experience, which is to sing on stage live, was with a band from Westmoreland in South called The Children Band. And I go out with them and get a chance to sing a song here and there for a few years. And then after that, my first official job in the music was a roadie, which is to set up a band, to put the drum like this, drum together, set up the mic stands and all that thing. That was my first official job in music. In the grill with a band called Emoja. You understand? With the band leader, Chescott James, Mr. Jama himself. Yes, and after that, I left Westmoreland and went to Spanish Town to live with my father and joined a band called Stars Incorporated. And now that band was like the first time now I'm getting to learn a lot about music in the theoretical form and practical form as well, because I became the lead singer in that band. But the bass player, who was a very accomplished musician, he used to teach me a lot of things other than just singing, technical things in music that kind of helped me to develop the musical talent throughout the years.
Wow, fantastic. Okay, so from those earlier years, then Westmoreland, then you moved to Spanish Town, you're part of these different brands. When did you see your career starting to take off?
Okay, so after Spanish Town, I went to the North Coast, where to me was the musical now university, because I was employed to different hotels and I get to sing 6 nights a week. If I make a mistake tonight, I can correct it tomorrow night. So after doing that for a few years now, I think I was ready to do other things. So that is when I left the North Coast, went to Kingston to start my recording journey now. Actually, my community, as I said, I started my musical journey in my community. That was in about 1980, 81, somewhere there. So. And then I started in 1986 to record songs, and then by 1988, I recorded my first hit song, the song called Boof Buff.
You better get out of town before I string up my sound. You must be stupid to come try. You better hear what I say, pack up and go away. You better look somewhere to hide. Woof, laugh, lick you right between the eyes. What a surprise.
By that time, I was singing in the hotel. So when that song starts really blowing up, I decided now I need to leave this hotel and business and come into Kingston to really concentrate on being a recording artist who would love to tour the world. And from there, I just never look back.
Wow, that's amazing.
But before that, I was doing a lot of recording with Ed Robinson, a fellow singer, Ed Robinson, who owned a studio called Tiff Tam during that time. And one of my first popular songs, it wasn't really a hit, but it got out and created some interest. And that is how I ended up recording for Top Ranking. The song was so amazing. And it came out on the Lifelong label. Virgin called Murray, Byron Murray, who passed and gone, rest in peace for Virgin. And after he put out So Amazing, a lot of producers became very interested in recording me. And that's how I recorded the song Boof Buff with Top Ranking.
So when you were at the hotel, you were like an entertainment coordinator or just like a singer, that person that come and perform?
I was a lead singer for different bands. First, there was the Rockers International in Ochi. Then after that, the Elements Band in Montego Bay. And, so different bands, different hotels.
You have a certain style, a certain flair to your music. It's not just reggae. It's like a mixture of R&B and much more. Was that intentional, or did you find that it was along the path of your journey that your sound became?
All right, I would say it's pretty much the teaching that I got, because I spent years on the North Coast singing 6 nights a week, and my job was to sing all of the current songs, the popular songs, the chart toppers, so that tourists from all over the world could hit the dance floor and dance and have a good time. So anywhere from reggae, dancehall, R&B, soca, disco, you name it. We have to sing all of those songs. So I grew up loving and appreciating different genres of music. So when I started my recording career, I just expressed that same feeling and that same sentiment. So that is how I indulge in different styles of music. And I just love it, because you can't pretend to do something like that. It has to be coming from your heart for it to work or for it to connect with people. And I've had several hits in different genres, I recorded gospel.
Yes, you have.
Dancehall, R&B, reggae, ska, and the list goes on. I love it all,
So no preference?
Reggae is the foundation for me.
Okay.
You understand? So I still call myself a reggae artist. But at the same time, I indulge in different genres.
Okay, fantastic. You also used to be a part of, because you have your own label now, but previously you were with VP?
I wasn't with VP, but they put out several songs and a few albums for me. But I was with Motown, the international group Motown. I signed with them a couple years ago and did an album for them. And I recorded songs at many different labels like Penthouse, Jammies, Dennis Star and Juni Star, several labels, several labels I have worked with over the years. But now Pot of Gold, because I believe after years and years spent in the business, it's only fair to me to develop my own company, which is Pot of Gold, and set up my own studio so I have the convenience to record songs as freely as how I'm recording now, because that will allow you to express yourself every time you get an inspiration. You understand? So that is what it is doing for me. It gives me a chance to just work at my own free will.
Fantastic. Just, reversing a bit, Motown, obviously that's a big deal. So who do you say were some of your inspiration, or any inspiration from you from, the classic Motown?
Yes, man. Motown, the genesis of Motown was to provide a label for black entertainers in America. Because back then in the 50s and 60s coming up, the racism was big during them times. And black artists would record songs and then white faces would come out on the album, because some people feel it wasn't marketable to have a black face on an album. So it was out of discrimination that Motown was born by Barry Gordy. And so some of the greatest black artists signed to Motown throughout the years. The Jackson 5 with Michael Jackson, The Temptation, Diana Ross and the Supremes, and the list goes on. Smokey Robinson, all of them great people there. So when I was signed to Motown, it was a it was one of the happiest days of my life. You know, because to have them reach out and be interested in a little countryman like myself, who come from Westmoreland, a little community called Russia, and Motown inked me to a deal. It was a major step, and I treasure that until today. It's a great memory that will never die.
Who would you say then, based on your journey so far, were like some of your inspiration in the music business? Like people that you looked up to and you were like, man, I love their work.
Well, Dennis Brown is the man that I really idolize, if there's any. I don't really idolize man still. God Almighty is my idol. But at the same time, there are people that inspire me, and Dennis Brown is one of my main inspiration. You understand? People like Bob Marley, Dennis Brown, and all the greats, Gregory Isaac. Of course, I look up to them because the man they were so unique in the way they do things that they created styles of singing that last from then till now and will last for a lifetime. So you have to big up and rate them on there. People like Luther Vandross internationally, James Ingram, and all them great vocalists there. Aretha Franklin, and you know, Peebo Bryce and Jeffrey Osborne. Them people, there are some people that we listen to constantly because you always learn something musical from listening to those greats. You know, so there's a lot of people that inspire me, and I pay homage to them.
All right, so of course the music industry, Richie, is no doubt very competitive. And you have a fine legacy, but I'm sure with that fine legacy you've had ups and downs, right? What would you say were perhaps one or two of your major challenges that you are willing to share in the industry?
Well, yes, music business is very, very, extremely competitive, but I don't see the competition. And the reason why I say that is that I just concentrate on what I am doing, and I'm 100% dedicated to what I do. If I do a song and write a song, produce a song and put it out, and it fail, I find another song. I don't even have time to sit and worry about it. You know, and I don't compete with anyone because I know each man have their part to play in the music. So I know that my contribution is my contribution, and I continue to make my contribution. You understand? And will salute all the people that doing their work and making their contribution at the same time. But I don't compete with no one, and I find it very easy for me to think the way I'm thinking. The minute you start compete with people and want to outdo people, go up to people, you just put in the pressure on yourself.
Yes.
So as much as I want to remain competitive in my spirit, I don't concentrate on what people doing to compete with them. I compete with myself. I try to make the song last year much better than the one.
This year.
The song now is better than the one
last
before.
year, yeah.
That is what I try to do. I compete with myself and try to be better at what I'm doing to keep the music going. Because if you're not making songs that better than the ones before, you're not gonna get new fans.
Yes.
You know, so with that in mind, I try to do my best every time.
Wow. I mean, I find that to be such a great philosophy, and not just only for music, but really a philosophy for life,
Yes.
having that kind of mindset. Was that something that you inherently have, or maybe it was over your years of experience?
It's definitely years of experience. When you're young, you do a lot of things and you can blame it on youthful exuberance. But when you start get older, you don't have them luxury again. You're a man, you're a big man, you need to do big man things. You understand? So throughout my musical career, I've learned a lot of things. You know, not that I would change anything that I've done back in the day, because I'm still so grateful for what I've done in the past, but I'm also a man who believes in the future. And I believe in trying to make it better all the time. If I'm singing a song, I try to put more into it vocally. I spend more time to get it done right. You understand? A matter of fact, I am spending more time and effort and money in music now than before.
Wow.
Yeah, man, it's true.
Yes. Even though you have such a fine legacy, but it's
I
refining.
give thanks for the legacy every day. But guess what? It's more than just music. It's solace. I find peace and joy, and I feel good doing music. It's one of the few things that I really love to do because of what it does for my spirit. You understand? A lot of my peers, them not really that active again. And sometimes I call up some of my friends and I say, yo, you have a rhythm, blah, blah, blah. And the man might say, yeah, man, I'll link it tomorrow and I just don't see him again. You know? And I say, boy, I just give thanks to know that after so many years, I am still loving it. I am still enjoying recording new material. I still enjoy writing new songs. I still enjoy, and I even love to promote my songs too.
Yes.
Yeah, so in all aspects, I still feel a good energy to do what I'm doing and going forward.
So what were for you some of your most memorable moments in the industry?
There are many moments that I consider true blessing and a stepping stone in my life and career. When I started out and I was searching, to try to understand the business and how to do this and how to do that, I met the great Dennis Brown. And that was such a excellent time in my life because Dennis Brown to me is one of the greatest reggae artists to ever live. And I spent years listening to Dennis singing his songs. So when I met him in person, was one moment I consider to be monumental. And we did a song together, and Dennis Brown called me up on stage to sing live and all of these things. So that to me, I did have to mention that.
Don't disrespect the elder, though the time is very red. He's standing tall like a brick wall. Your mommy and daddy, they told you. Standing tall like a brick wall. Don't let the system control you.
There are many other great moments. When I was touring with Shabba Ranks, touring all over the world, I would perform on every stage before Shabba come up. Go Japan, Europe, Canada, you name it. We've been everywhere. But when we went to England, we were performing in the Brixton Academy. And after I finished performing, the great Jazzy B from Soul to Soul, who Soul to Soul was like the hottest group in the world at that time with many hits and many Grammys and all of that. And they came backstage to meet me and to talk to me about recording a song on their Volume 3 album named Just Right. And we ironed that out and I ended up do the song, and the song was a massive success all over the world. It entered at number 7 in the British National Chart, went to number 3, but never did make it to number 1 because the great Elton John was number 1 and Michael Jackson was number 2.
Oh, wow.
And they held us out of number 1 position. But even though we didn't go number 1, it's still a number 1 to me.
Yes, because you are among greats like that.
Yeah, the man that holding number 1 and number 2 position is the biggest artist in the world.
Wow. What was the name of that song?
The song was Joy.
Sing a little line for us.
Joy is a new sensation, new vibration, rocking the nation. Big up Jazzy B.
Beautiful. I love it. I love it. I love it. Awesome. That's fantastic. And I mean, as you mentioned, among the greats like Elton John and Michael Jackson, then
Yes.
come on, you
Yes.
know, it shows.
And we used to perform like some major events. We did Top of the Pops. Top of the Pops is the biggest chart show in Europe, okay? And then we perform on Miss World in France.
Wow.
That with Vanessa Williams and the late great James Brown.
Oh, wow.
We did so many major things around the world. That to me was like one of the highest points. But out of that greatness, that is how I got signed to Motown.
Yes.
You know, so many high points, as I say. But I still think the best is yet to come. You know?
Definitely, and I love that about you.
Yes.
You embrace the past and all the accomplishments,
Yes.
but you look forward to the future.
I'm very interested in the future.
I love that. That is a positive way of living.
Yes.
In terms of the music industry, and especially reggae music in Jamaica, do you think it's nowadays more celebrated internationally than in Jamaica? What do you think?
Let me see the best way to put it now. Our best time in music is certainly not now. Like everything else, we need to wheel out and come again. And what I mean by that, we used to have more international chart presence, like in the billboards or the English national chart that I just talked about. It used to be common to see many of our artists in the top 10 in the English national chart, in the billboard chart, some of the biggest charts in the world. We're not seeing that nowadays, so there's no way we could ever compare now to them time in the 90s. You understand? And matter of fact, it goes past the 90s, from the 70s coming up with Millie Small, My Boy Lollipop, and all those songs. But I never give up on hope. I just know that we as Jamaican artists and Jamaican people, we are special. And that is why we have such a major presence in the world. Because think about this. How can a small country mean so much to world history? You know, in music and sports and academics and all these things. So I know that we're special. What is happening currently is telling us that we probably need to get back to the drawing board of how we used to do things. And we can't always go back to the past, but we have to look to the past to see what we used to do and add some of that to the present.
Definitely.
Because the music has changed, for argument's sake, and I don't know if it's changed for the better. I embrace change, you know. And I believe in the youth, the younger youth, to know that we have to give them space and time to do what they're doing. But I don't think the current music is going as well as we would like it to go. Probably it needs some more time. And music on a whole, let's be fair, music on a whole is not what it used to be.
Yes.
And that goes for every genre, from hip-hop to R&B to country to everything, because of the many competitions that we have right now. You know, the internet do a serious job in breaking down entertainment and almost share it up.
Yes.
So people used to listen to them radio 24/7 and watch TV, whether it's MTV, BET, or locally RETV and all those things. Now, those platforms are not getting the kind of attention that they used to get. So therefore, there's a lot of things now that is competing, that are competing with entertainment. Like blogging, for argument's sake, is a big thing in the world and we just have to accept it. It is the truth. People spend a lot of time listening to blogs. You understand? And all of the comedians and all of the people now that is on the internet, they are really getting a lot of traction with their thing, which is a major competition for singers and players of instrument. So we have to understand that there's a change in the world, and that is why music is not selling the way it used to. That is why stage shows are not packing the way they used to pack, and just try to put our best foot forward still, but with that kind of understanding.
Oh, certainly. And I certainly agree with that, because as somebody that also works in traditional media, I do realize, I've always said it, that you have to adapt with the changing times, you know? So I definitely agree with that.
That's the only constant thing.
Yes.
It's change.
You're a philosophical man, you know.
You know, so people tell me that all the time.
Yes. Yes.
But me just see myself as that. You know?
I feel like you read a. Do you read a lot, or
Yes,
you?
yes.
What are some of the books you read? Because I get that. I feel that vibe.
I don't have no special book. Some people like to read a certain kind, but I don't. I will just pick up this business of music for argument's sake, which is they call it the musical Bible, and that is what I would read for this month.
Wow.
You know, to try and have a better understanding. And the next day you might see me with a different book altogether. You understand? But I try to do. I'm not no big reader who read constantly. I won't say that.
Yeah.
But I try to do some reading because through reading, there's a lot of things to learn. You know, you develop a lot of knowledge through reading.
Fantastic. Speaking of currently, so as we mentioned, you're a man that moves forward. So one of your singles, Statue of a Fool, has been doing quite well since its release late last year. Understand that it was on the New York charts and also in Fort Lauderdale. Tell us about that single.
Statue of a Fool, wow, is a song that I'm very, very proud of. And the reason why is that the singer who sang it originally is one of my all-time favorite singers. His name is David Ruffin. A lot of people might know him as one of the lead singers for the legendary group The Temptation. He's one of the greatest R&B singer I've heard. And I love his style of singing, and I listen to him a lot to learn, because I never stop learning. The song now is my all-time favorite song. So the legendary producer, Mr. Clive Hunt, called me up one day and said, Richie, I am doing a Motown project called Reggae Singers Singing Motown Classics. And I just said to him, I want to sing Statue of a Fool. Clive said, yeah, send me the link. So I sent him the link. And in a few days, the rhythm was created and sent back to me. And in a few days, I voiced it and sent it back to Clive. Clive was very impressed. By the way, I was very happy with the rhythm, the way it was sounding and feel. So it was just pure goodness back and forth with me and Clive. And we worked the song. And when the song finished, it's like the first song from the project. Clive, I don't think did even do another one yet. But based on how he was feeling about the song, he said, Richie, you say, big man thing, you feel like we want to just put out the song as a singer right now? I said, Clive, I am feeling the same vibes, but I just never want to bring it up. So we put it out and it just keep getting the rotation and love from the people, and we do a video and put it out. The video is doing well. It's on YouTube. People can check it out. And the song is just getting bigger and better as we go along.
And it's been on, tell us the charts that it's been on.
All right, so it was #1 on the New York Reggae chart for a few weeks, and also in the state of Florida.
And currently, any new projects that you are working on that you want to share or not?
You know, I talked to Clive, and we're about to go back in the studio to do another song. And I must say, Clive is a major producer who been producing big songs from way back, from Wolf and Leopard. One of Dennis Brown's greatest album, Fall Play, was produced by Clive, and we have a lot of respect for Clive as a great man. And one thing that I admire about Clive is that this man is doing production from in the 70s come up. And Clive is still hungry. Clive is still 100% dedicated, and I know that is not easy to do. The music business, and as we discussed, the highs and the lows of music, and there are some things that I've learned and like to impart the knowledge on my fellow artists, especially the younger ones, that see, when you're given musical gift, it means that you're especially blessed. And when you're favored by God, you're also very important to the devil. So Satan will always come. Satan will always try to distract you. Satan will always try to tempt you. And I say to you, don't give the brother no chance in your life. You understand? Hold firm. Make sure, say, you put them plans solid on the ground. You understand? Don't bow to Satan. Bless.
Bless. Thank you so much. This is the perfect way to wrap up this interview with such an awesome word of advice and inspiration. It's been a pleasure, Richie. Keep up the fantastic work. Keep blazing your trail.
Blessings always. Who the shape of me?
Woo!
Would you believe I have lost the race again? And I'm trying to get to you. Yo, trailblazers. Big up yourself. Richie Stephens said that.
Some of our most prominent producer them in the industry tell Tony that he could not bust a female artist because
Wow.
Failing is one thing. Failing publicly is a very hard thing. Father always said he was growing a prime minister.
And I said I was holding my mouth, the lies were going, and I sat and I saw women on the TV just lying bluntly, just like that.
Released the all media survey. When you look at the name Ron Michelle, 0, 0. And then they send back to say that they apologize. The lady up there never put in the number.
Seriously? In
Back
terms
then,
of help for like speed.
yeah, my mom was a helper back then and stuff. To be honest, I was just excited, to play for West Indies.
I did it. I made my move into entrepreneurship at 40.
What, last comments would you want to share with
You have your core values, you do the right things, it'll fall in place for you.
So build a statue and oh, build it high for the world to see.